Just like a church. Good morning. We'll call the meeting to order. We will begin by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join us this morning for a moment of silence.
Promise.
Please don't.
Thank you. We will begin with a couple of housekeeping orders. Probably not. Yeah. We can provide a copy of the commission order. I'm trying to find it from 2012 that dealt with the public comment section. I wanted to address, obviously, we have put back on the agenda public comment process. Obviously, the public comments at the beginning of this meeting on number 3 on our agenda will be addressing any of the potential agenda items that are on there. We will allow for other public comments at the end on subject matter that is not associated with the agenda items. That is clearly within the commission order from 2012 when they addressed this particular issue. But I will speak to, just briefly for the benefit of the people that were not here on Thursday, I will read through what the previous commission had approved and authorized when it comes to decorum and public comment. Persons in the audience will refrain from behavior which will be disrupt the public meeting, which includes making loud noises, clapping, shouting, booing, hissing, or engaging in any activity that disrupts, disturbs, or impedes the orderly conduct of a meeting. Signs, objects, or symbolic material, such as signs or banners, are not allowed in the meeting. Addressing the commission will make the comments from the podium in the front of the room. If you're unable to do so, you can stand from your seat. However, speak loudly to be heard. Meeting attendees are given 3 minutes to speak during public hearing times. The time limit is at the discretion of the chair, and it may be limited when appropriate. Applicants in land use matters are given more time to speak. All speakers will be sworn in prior to speaking. During public hearings, the speakers should only discuss topics related to the hearings on the agenda. Speakers' comments should be addressed full to the commission, and requests to engage the individual commissioner members in this conversation will not be honored. If an individual wishes to submit written information, they shall give it to the county staff at the meeting, and speakers at any public meeting will not approach the dais at any time prior without getting written consent from the chair of the meeting. Again, violations of these provisions or other conduct which disturbs, disrupts, or impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting may result in removal from the meeting. Public meeting decorum, persons in the audience will refrain from behavior. I've already read that, so. Though this is part of the commission order from 2012, which we would provide if anyone wants a copy of that, which also required, and we're not making this a requirement, if there was an agenda item that you wanted placed on the agenda, you would have to submit that in writing to the commission office before Wednesday, prior to the Tuesday meeting the prior week before. We are putting in place the ability for you to address public comment after on things that are non-agenda items. We are going to ask that you respectfully adhere to the time limits that we have given you. Because this is from 2012. This is a commission order that obviously we are in full compliance with, and we've not went outside the bounds of that in any shape, form, or fashion in anything that we've done up to this time. So with that, I'm going to ask for an approval of the minutes from the June 9th, 26th meeting and the June 11th workshop.
I make a motion we approve the minutes for June 9th, 2026 and June 11th, 2026.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. You have approved the minutes from June 9th and June 11th. At this time, we have public comments on agenda items. We have one request, Rachel Maxwell, on Commission Orders 156, 157, 158.
Hello,
Yes.
Commissioners.
Good morning.
Yes, on these, it's really about Cochrane Engineering. I'm not sure if you're aware, I know that there's a disconnect between what happens in the county and what happens in the city. In Pacific, Cochrane, it was like January 27th, there's someone paid from Beltline that's associated with them. And so to completely negate that conflict of interest, they cut ties, except for one thing that was already gone through. They've already accepted the bids. So I'd like to know when these bids were put in place, just because that is a conflict of interest with Cochrane and Beltline. And so that's all I have to say about those. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming. Next, the action items that we have before us is the Commission Order 2026-154, appointing Joyce Schaefer to the Franklin County Transportation Committee as an alternate member for the Village of Maramagua.
I'll make a motion we approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. You've approved Commission Order 2026-154. Next is Commission Order 2026-155, is the refunding of the overplus land sales back taxes to Jennifer Lindemeyer.
Make a motion we approve Commission Order 2026, TAC 155.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. You've approved 2026-155. We have Commission Order 2026-156 is the execution of supplement agreement number 15B with Cochrane for professional engineering services for the Beaumont Road Low Water Crossing Replacement and New Bridge project.
Make a motion we approve Commission Order 2026, TAC 156.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. We've approved 2026-156. Next is the Commission Order 2026-157 is the supplemental agreement number 18A with Cochrane for engineering services for the Dry Branch Low Water Crossing Replacement and New Bridge.
Is Jim in? I had a question on this one, Jim.
Yes.
This is for, it looks like we're gaining some right away, I guess, just a little sliver or something. There's no diagrammatic.
Yes, what this request for the commission order is the supplemental agreement is for right-of-way acquisition services that they will provide when MoDOT approves a project and East-West Gateway also approves that project. That goes to the contractor and the engineer who develops the plans and specifications. They cannot determine at that point what, if any, right-of-way is needed for that project. As they develop those plans and the plans get approved by MoDOT, and East-West Gateway through the PSE process. Then it is established what properties have to be acquired or construction easements need to be acquired. And at that time, the engineer presents a estimate for the acquisition of those properties, and that's what this is. It's very basic. It's what has always been done. All entities that deal with East-West Gateway and MoDOT in this process go through the same format. So it's for their right-of-way, their right-of-way service to acquire those properties for this particular bridge. And
So-
we have these three bridges that MoDOT originally approved in 2023. We awarded those to Cochrane at that time. And that's why the process is ongoing. It takes 5 to 6 years for a bridge to go from inception to completion.
So in 2023, when we put those projects out, like this Dry Branch Road Bridge project, they got to come up, they have to make plans, construction plans, they do a needs analysis, environmental in a lot of cases. But my concern is a lot of the things that they're providing here, right-of-way plans, legal descriptions, deeds, a lot of that will be provided already in the contract they're given for the design of the bridge. So I'm just wondering, are we double paying in some cases for this information?
And no, we are not. All they are providing for this is the actual negotiations and acquiring of the properties.
Okay,
And
because they list plans, provide right-of-way plans, legal descriptions, deeds, and exhibits, which almost all that would be included, except for maybe the deeds in a
well, there's
design project.
negotiations involved with that. And when the original plans are conceived, and this is approved to replace a slow water crossing, the contractor or the engineer do not know what, if any, properties are involved. So they don't know if they should include right-of-way design or things such as that, and establish what sort of properties need to be removed or taken by the county. So-
Could you look into it though, just to make sure that we're not double paying for some of this stuff?
Absolutely, I sure
Okay.
can.
Thanks.
But it may not hurt, Jim, for us to walk through that at some point, maybe
Sure.
even the process, just so that we have a better understanding of what this additional costs, what work goes into in order for this particular. I mean, obviously, this is something that's fairly routine. You're familiar with it. Obviously, we need to be a little more familiar with it, I believe.
Okay, I'll give you one more example. Shoe Cart Road is another project that we have on an upcoming agenda. And it was developed to where there will not be any right-of-way needed to be required. We're able to build that, remove the existing, and build a new one right in that same footprint. So that's where we are with that.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Answer my questions.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You've approved 2026-157. Was that what, 157? Yes. Next is 2026-158, is the authorization of the supplemental agreement 19A for professional engineering services for the project low water crossing replacement and new bridge project.
This is the same. It's an
Same.
acquisition but it's just for Gibson Creek project, so it's the same.
Yep.
Based on what Jim was telling us, I make a motion we approve Commission Order 2026, TAC 158.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You've approved 2026-158. 2026-159 is the execution of a contract and bond for construction or improving St. Johns Creek Bridge, number 0590007, replacing the low water project as Jim described.
Make a motion we approve Commission Order 2026, TAC 159.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We approve 2026-159. Finally is 2026-160, 2-160 is the consent agenda and all items listed thereon. We have today the building department fees for the month of May.
Make a motion, we approve Commission Order 2026, TAC 160.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same sign. You've approved Commission Order 2026-160. At this time, we will have public comment on items that are not listed on the agenda. I will again be the timekeeper. I will give you a wrap on the top of the thing when you have 15 seconds remaining in your time. And so please adhere to the time limits as we have discussed from previously. So let me get the list. Well, over here in my pile of paper. First is Nancy Watson. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm Nancy Watson. I live at 743 Innisfree Drive in Pacific. You held a public hearing at East Central College on May the 18th of this year. On this Thursday, June 18th, the month will have passed. I appreciate the fact that you have 4 very complex issues on which you must vote. I would suggest that these matters will be the most significant decisions of your terms as commissioners. The public has provided you with massive amounts of studies, written and oral testimony, texts, emails, and phone calls for you to consider as you make your decisions on the 4 hearings. I've lived in Franklin County since 1989, except for almost 5 years when my husband was transferred to San Antonio. We kept our rural home during that time because we knew we would return. The last 5 months have been difficult and anxious for many families, including ours. I continue to oppose both data centers in the proposed locations on agricultural land so close to residences. Can you imagine what individuals and families will experience during 6 to 10 years of construction? Can you imagine what life will be like living near or next door to a hyperscale data center? Once one is built, more will come. If you allow permitted use, there will be no safeguards against more hyperscale data centers being built. You visited Loudoun County in Virginia. Surely that is not what you want for Franklin County. Setbacks of 400 or even 1,000 feet from data centers are not sufficient. And decommissioning? Once rural land is destroyed, is it ever possible to restore it? Will the dams on our lakes be broken by blasting? And will the anticipated millions be worth it to the county, considering the human cost in lifestyle, peace and quiet, the beauty of nature, and our physical and mental health? I ask you to vote no on all 4 hearings. Franklin County will be an example of a community who chose agricultural land, clean rivers, and the lives of people over outside developers, projects, and moneyed interests. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you,
I have
Nancy.
copies for you.
You can drop them right there.
All 4?
Next is Ann Hayden.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
For the record, I'm opposed to data centers as a permitted use. I'm opposed to the spot rezoning of the Diamond Farm and McLaren properties. These rezonings benefit the landowners and not the community. Rezoning is supposed to benefit the community. I've asked repeatedly for you to show me the benefits of data centers. Are there any? Probably not. There certainly are things that are against them, like mass surveillance, digital currency, data mining. So let's talk about the water. Is there going to be a problem with the water? How about environmental impacts? Air, noise, and light pollution? A cooling system is going to create noise. How could it possibly not? If there is no noise, lower the acceptable decibel level to 30 and place a fine of at least $20,000 a day for exceeding this continuously monitored limit. All monies need to be placed in a community benefit fund to assist with issues. Limit water usage and monitor it. No private wells for data centers. Make data centers pay all of their electrical upgrade costs. Data centers should not receive tax incentives. These are billion-dollar companies. Billion-dollar companies. I do not consent to subsidizing the data center developers or the end users. If this data center narrative is so great, why all the secrecy? Why the need for an NDA? If there are no plans, what proprietary information were you asked to protect? Who's protecting the people in the community from corporate greed? Lastly, for the record, no one is paying me to oppose the data centers, and I'm certainly not Chinese. I'm taking the time to oppose because the land, the air, the water, the wildlife, it all means a lot to me. Does it not mean a lot to you? Kind of seems that way. We are the land of the free because of the brave. Be the brave and vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Jeff Hayden.
So you've told us to respect the process many, many times, and I've been up here asking you to do the same and respect the process. The process calls for discussion. That discussion is really back and forth, not one-sided. So at the planning and zoning, there wasn't any discussion. At the commission meeting, there wasn't any discussion. When is that discussion going to happen? So, united, we stand. Divided, not a good sign.
Thank you, Jeff. Next, Amy Thompson.
Good morning. I got two topics today. First, on data centers, once again, I want to be on the record as opposing all the proposed options at this time. And I'm not an expert on the technology or data centers, but I know you have lots of strong data to look at. I'm not an expert, but as I say all the time, as a teacher nearly 30 years, I know about communication. I know that being talked at and then being talked back at is not going to help us. And united or divided depends on being able to have an actual discussion where questions are answered and we can understand where you're coming from. Because I think you've heard where we're coming from, but we don't know what you guys are thinking. And we would like to, we'd welcome if there's any reason this is good, help us out. Now, and just a sidetrack, I've just found out that Dutchtown and St. Louis kind of took control of their own data. And again, not being a tech person, I don't know if that's a real option, but someone in the audience, if you want to look into Dutchtown or see me afterwards, I'd love information about that. And I'm really focused today on an article in the Missourian last week about the library board. And while I'm not an expert in technology, books are near and dear to me. I'm a reading specialist who has spent 30 years helping kids read. And the key is not just to get the process of reading, but they need to fall in love with books. And library board member was their confirmation was being held up because some people had questioned books that are in our scenic regional libraries. And this library board member has been 36 years on the board. So I doubt he's the problem, if there is any. I maintain there probably isn't. There's a stringent process. If people don't like a library book, they can go to the library and follow that process. And under state law, there's a committee to review such things. Our Scenic Regional Library has the 5-member committee, and they all 5 have masters in library sciences. Those seem like better people, no offense, than the 3 of you, because just like I don't know about bridges and such, I'm guessing you might not know all about the library sciences. If I'm wrong, please correct me, because maybe you have degrees I don't know about. So if this is going forward and you're looking into trying to ban books on the side, think carefully. The Scenic Regional Library System is a marvelous asset to the county. When I go to different programs, people from outside the county are amazed at our system. So let's protect it, cherish it, and let everybody read the books they want. If you're under 18, you can't get a library card without your parents. Parents can
Amy,
monitor their books.
thank you for your comments. Your time's expired. Thank you. Next, Corbett Shannon.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
As an American, I am tired of watching this commission treat concerned citizens like absolute trash. Our questions deserve answers. Instead, we're met with arrogance, dismissal, and contempt. Dave, you crossed a line when you said that citizens who oppose these proposals are serving the interests of communist China. You attacked our loyalty to this country. Let me be crystal clear. This is not merely offensive. It is outrageous, and it's beneath the decorum of a public official. It's a direct attack on the patriotism, integrity, and character of the citizens of this county. We are not puppets of China. Hear me clearly, gentlemen. The only puppet here is you, Dave, appointed by the governor to carry out his commands in Franklin County, period. We are taxpayers, veterans, farmers, business owners. We are also Americans born with unalienable rights that come from God. When you couldn't defend your position on the merits, you attacked the people who are asking the questions. I have to ask you, Dave, how dare you? And who exactly do you think you are to do so? On June 2nd, public comment was stolen from us with no legal authority to do so. Since we dare question your refusal to hold town halls or engage in us, you eliminated public comment. The same actions of Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin. First we're ignored, then we're silenced, then we're insulted. That is not honorable leadership. That is the conduct of a smug tyrant that is uncomfortable with being questioned. And I personally take your disgusting attacks offensive. My great-grandfather served in World War I. My grandfather served in World War II. Another grandfather served in Korea and ultimately died from service-related injuries, and my father served during Vietnam. Service to this great nation runs in my blood, sir. And so when you claim we are advancing the interests of China simply because we oppose these dog shit data centers, you, sir, are attacking my honor. You are attacking our families and the very citizens you were appointed to serve. We deserve respect. Gentlemen, all 3 of you, hear this clearly. You work for us. This isn't communist Russia or Nazi Germany, and you, Dave, are not a king. Disagreement is not disloyalty, and criticism is not sedition. Patriotism is not measured by blind obedience to a tyrannical presiding commissioner. The citizens of Franklin County are watching, and we will not be intimidated. Sir, don't you ever question my patriotism to the United States of America ever again. And if you do, at least have the balls to come down here and say it to my face. And for once, Dave, in your life, why don't you do something honorable and resign?
Thank you, Corbett. Twyla Ashworth.
All across the United States, masses of concerned citizens are coming out against hyperscale data centers and parks. People are concerned about the depletion of aquifers, higher electrical bills, and many environmental and health effects to human life and impacts to wildlife. We are being told we are misinformed. We are told there will be no impact to electrical rates. We are told closed-loop systems are the answer to the water issue. We are told it will increase jobs with high pay. We are told that we will love it once these hyperscale centers come into our communities. We are told even that those against data centers are being paid by China to be troublemakers. First, let's address we are misinformed. This is an insult to your constituents who put you into office. Not all those masses of people speaking out against data centers are misinformed. There are many professionals that specialize in the environmental impacts of data centers, and they are giving us warning now, with true data that exists now and impacts on the environment, water, and people's health that are issues now. Not everyone is misinformed. If anyone is misinformed, it is the government officials and commissioners, mayors, and civic leaders who refuse to accept anything but what the salespeople of these data centers are telling them. You must remember that data center developers are salespeople. They care nothing about the community. It's get the job done so they can get their paychecks and go back home to their homes where they do not live anywhere near hypercenter complexes. The windfall of money being promised will not exist once it's distributed to the state of Missouri coffers for them to make that decision. The school district, fire district, nor the ambulance district will not be receiving the funds they have been told. AI does not need people babysitting it either. Impacts on water are real. The western states are already experiencing water shortages, with people being mandated to conserve water while data centers and industry can use as much water as they wish. When you factor in the numerous data centers across the United States, our aquifers are in danger of depletion. Residents in several states are now getting brown, dirty water from their wells, mud in their plumbing pipes, which have to be replaced. It is real that communities with high concentration of data centers have had their electrical bills doubled, even tripled. This is fact, not fiction. There are numerous accounts of high air pollution because of diesel generators, cooling fans, people being sickened by these data centers, some being terminally sickened by these complexes. Impacts of children with autism have been documented. You cannot deny these truths. Most disappointing is when our own government officials, whom we vote for, turn against the public they serve, deny our constitutional rights to speak, treat us with disrespect, and refuse to answer our questions publicly. Also, government officials do not do their due diligence by demanding stringent environmental testing from environmental specialists that cannot be swayed. Please stand up for your constituents. We do not want data centers in rural residential areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Twyla.
you.
Appreciate your comments. Next, Berta Carpenter.
Is there any way I can go before I have to leave? I have to go back to work.
What, I don't, which,
I think I was just maxed after.
I don't see you on the list. Oh, okay, yes. Roxanne Watson?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm okay with it.
that's fine if that, if she doesn't mind. Yep.
I appreciate it. Good morning, Commissioners. Jessica Nicodemo, Pacific. I wanted to read this email that I wrote last Tuesday. I did get a response back from Dave, and I appreciate that, even though it was just read and received. But I wasn't sure if everybody had read it, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. I watched your meeting today, and I would like to reach out to see if I will get a reply back to this email. I have been very patient with this process and have sent dozens of emails. So here is the test email to see what I get back. I have stood in front of you three commissioners several times, and my concerns have been pushed away. No health concerns whatsoever, no worries about water, no worries about air, no worries about sound, like there is nothing in life that can go wrong. I have done my research, and I pride myself on being so knowledgeable of the what-ifs in this proposal. I have done hours of research, looked at university studies, health department concerns, environmental impacts, and politics on hyperscale data centers. I'm not going to keep going over my concerns with you, especially since I have emailed all of them to you. I wanted to let you know something, and once the public speaking section comes back, I will read this email out loud for all the room to know what I am about to say. I am writing a book. I have everything I need: videos, pictures, emails, research, interviews, and more. The more is the best part. I have tons of cards in my hand. I cannot wait for you all to see them. But my book has not finished its ending yet. Can you guess why it's not finished? I'll give you a clue. The story is not done yet. It's still being played out in real life. You are working, and so am I. The story will be finished when the ending is finally written. You men are determining the end. Are you going to be heroes without capes, or are you going to be villains of the town? We shall see. The ending isn't done. Only you can make the ending. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Let me go back to, was it Berta? Berta, I'm sorry. Berta Carpenter.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
What seems to have been a technical issue last week caused my email conversation with Commissioner Overschmidt to be blocked. And so I wanted to take this moment to correct something that I had said in that email. I went through the official transcript from the May 18th Commissioners hearing, and it was Mr. Baylord who stated that the cost for the Provident Data Center was $40 billion. Billion was what he said, not 45 as I had said in the email. But I'm still a little bit confused about that number because we know that Beltline is saying they have a $16 billion project. So I did a little bit more and I looked. The Google data center in New Florence is listed as a $15 billion project, and it's on 934 acres. The Amazon one, that's just north of I-70 in Montgomery County, on 910 acres, is a $10 billion project. And the Nebius project in Independence, Missouri, is only on 400 acres and is just a $6.6 billion project. I just think that we don't have any standards to compare this. So I'm wondering, are we getting a Rolls-Royce from Providence and a Cadillac from Beltline and the other people are getting Fords and Chevys? I just don't know. I think it's worth questioning when these developers put out numbers that are not really supported and seem out of line with what we see else going on. So that's all I had to say today, other than I'm praying for you three every day.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for your comments. Next, Rhonda Brackett.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to talk to you from a personal perspective. I am one of those who is hypersensitive to electromagnetic frequencies, along with many other harmful aspects of an AI hyperscale data center that would bring, including the effects on the water, air, total noise, to name a few. If I hold my phone for an extended period of time, it tingles. My hand tingles. If I look at it for a long time, my eyes hurt. If I use my phone a lot, I get an upset stomach. I unplug my internet in the evening before retiring for bed. I have had allergies due to air quality. I'm hypersensitive to perfumes and sprays and do not use them. All of these things upset my system, cause an upset stomach and jitterness, anxiety, and more for me. When I first came to a meeting, it was because I was concerned because I'm an environmentalist. Being in nature, away from all the electromagnetic frequencies and other noises of our world, is the only thing that relaxes me. Nature is the only place where my body feels a sense of calm and peace, and I do not feel the constant jitteriness that comes with all the technology in our world. I do not want to see that destroyed. After doing much research online, reading articles, and listening to videos, I learned so much about the harmful effects of AI data centers and how others were being affected as well. It's not just me. People's wells were being contaminated and they had milky water. There are areas of the country where the aquifer has dried up. People do not have water. People who have asthma and COPD due to air quality. People who have cancer due to pollution and effects of the electromagnetic frequencies. People who, due to the constant tonal noise, which is regulated in a work environment, only 8 hours per day, and which I understand should be 15 to 20 decibels for these data centers, hyperscale data centers. But they could not sell their homes due to the loss of anxiety. They had anxiety and sleeplessness that they experienced. They could not sell homes, and the loss of property values they've had loss of property values because it decreased because they were close to an AI hypercenter scale data center. So a lot of people are just walking away from it. There's no real financial benefit. When you take account all the negative ramifications, there is no benefit. I did send a video to you guys by Renwick area against data center.
Thank you.
I hope you did listen to it. It highlights a lot of those things.
Thank you.
Thank
Your
you.
time has expired. Thank you for your comments. Next is John Rose.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
As our local representatives, your primary duty is to safeguard the health, safety, and well-being of the people of Franklin County. We cannot allow our county to become a testing ground for industrial tech expansion with federal agencies are actively investigating horrendous and grave sick risks to the public. I personally have worries on emergency response and evacuation if a lithium battery fire or electrical fire occurs during the Merrimack River flooding. We are on an island next to a crooked creek. When Highway F, Double F, O, Highway N are flooded and closed, this leaves Highway 30, our only possible escape from the south to St. Clair. And that's not guaranteed, and this leaves long response time. As our local representatives, protecting our agricultural land, living animals, generational farmers, residential families should be your priority. The promise of tax dollars cannot replace wells, endangered species, neighboring generational farmlands, and the health of our county residents. Hyper data complexes have no place in our rural land. Probably 80% of Franklin County are probably against these. I urge you to immediately halt expansion of data centers in our local rural community. Protecting our community's health must come before technological sprawl. The Commission has received stacks of information to review that confirms the data centers are hazardous. And I pray that you review them all and do the research. Make the correct decision for the health of we the people and our environment. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Janet Hubbard.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Over 65% of Americans now oppose data complexes. Why? What might data complexes built near our local schools really bring to us? They'll bring us noise, both audible and inaudible. Each building emits a 24/7 hum at a decibel level similar to busy street traffic, multiplied by the number of buildings in the complex, due to the massive HVAC units and cooling towers. If, however, the diesel generators are used, which are the size of railroad cars, if they're running, the noise emitted is not only much louder, 100 decibels, similar to heavy machinery or a jackhammer. The diesel generators also emit exhaust polluting the air. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency states that noise can pose a serious threat to a child's physical and psychological health, including learning and behavior. Repeated exposure to noise during critical periods of development may affect a child's acquisition of speech, language, and language-related skills such as reading and listening. Elevated blood pressure and other cardiovascular ailments can be found in children who are chronically exposed to loud noises. There's also the issue of infrasound. Infrasound is the ultra-low frequency sound waves emitted by the data complex. Although inaudible, these frequencies vibrate through the air, through walls, and through the ground and can travel for miles. Infrasound exposure can stimulate the inner ear and cause behavioral changes. Infrasound is strongly associated with poor sleep quality, which can lead to daytime exhaustion, an inability to concentrate, and increased hyperactivity, as reported by Science Direct. How will these issues of audible noise and infrasound be mitigated? What are the safeguards Franklin County has researched to put into place to protect our students? They'll also bring us heat. A University of Cambridge study presented its findings based on 20 years of land surface sensor temperature data. Called the data heat island effect, the study showed that temperatures are rising an average of 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit in areas immediately surrounding the hyperscale data complexes, with as much as 16.4 degrees Fahrenheit rise in some cases. The heat island effect was carried by a distance of up to 6 miles from the facilities. All of the Merrimack Valley R3 school district schools are within a 6-mile radius of these complexes. If it comes down to a choice between the promises of an out-of-town carpetbagger and his data complex, or choosing what's best for our students,
Janet, thank you for your
the
comments.
choice should be clear.
Thank you for your comments.
Choose our students.
Thank you for your comments. Next, Dana Bowers.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The average citizen is controlled by the government, but the government is not controlled by the people, by our Constitution. I'm sorry, you guys, but facts are facts. That's not the way our Constitution was originally set up. You guys are sitting in seats where our tax dollars put you there and pay your paycheck. You work for us. We are not your employees. You do not control us. We have the voice to tell you what you should be doing, and you're not listening. We have said for months now, this is not what we want in our county because it could potentially harm us. Why are you not listening? My question to you guys is why? What is it? Who's holding what over whom's head? Is it money? Is money really, honestly? I mean, Paul, really, is it the money? Is money that much more important than the health and well-being of the people who live in these areas? I think that's a valid question. Is it not? I know. Newton's law, for every action, there is a reaction. The reason why people got so angry and upset, and the reason why I kept speaking over my 3 minutes was because you tried to cut me off at less than 3 minutes. So to prove a point, your reaction by shutting off everyone else's voices just showed the entire public what kind of person you really are. It makes no sense to me why we're even here at this point in time. There's other issues in this county as well. The 911 tax increase, the phishing scam that just cost our county over $45,000, a leaking landfill that is yet to be taken care of that's polluting our river, children missing that have been lost to the Division of Family Services here through our county, stricter laws on UTVs on our county roads because there have been way too many deaths recently, traffic and accident issues on all the main highways around this area, doors being locked and windows tinted where we can't even see or get in without ringing a freaking doorbell into a public office. The lack of return of phone calls and emails, but yet, Paul, you can get on social media and make a comment and try to say that what Elliot recorded live wasn't facts. You can respond or comment on social media, but you can't respond to emails. Like, guys, what are we paying you for? We're paying you to do what we ask you to do.
Dana,
no means
your time
no.
has expired. Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, we're not funded by China.
Next, Linda Carr. You can place them there.
Thank you. And I want you to know that this morning, I spent about an hour praying for you all. because I think you need it. We need it. We all need it. We've known all along that the politicians and the upper officials and you for at least 12 to 18 months, what your evil intentions were all for the love of money, power, control, greed. You knew the owners of the 2 spot surveyed land plots would be recusing themselves from the P&Z Council, which were our representation for our 2 townships, that will come complete destruction. You sit there and you ask our merciful God to bless America, this land, our people. He can't and he won't, because God is love. And what you're doing is not love. Secrecy, lack of communication, lack of transparency, love of money, lies, control, power, greed. Those are all of what you have been doing against the will of the people and the will of God Almighty. That is sin, defined in bold print in action. You're known by your fruits. Your fruits are showing rotten and sin infestation. God can't look upon sin because he is love. You claim to go to church, but what about your hearts? Do you walk into the sanctuary of God and put on a big show and then walk out and carry all these sins with you in your actions? What hypocrisy. In Revelation, John wrote what God revealed to him. The goats would be those hypocrites who sucked into Satan's sin, who is the master of all sin, to destroy what God has made for us to prosper, as the book of Jeremiah has declared. They will soon be on the left. The sheep who fought for God's love and purpose will be on the right. This is not political, gentlemen. This is the battle of evil against good. Nothing you're doing is good. AI is artificial. It's not God-made. We're not complainers and gripers. We're constantly calling upon you just to hear us. You're secretly trying to change the laws and codes so if there's a big if, there's any tax revenue of money to come after all of this, maybe 3 or more years, you want to share this wealth among everybody. Do you take your earnings and share your whole complete wealth with the whole community? I think not. Shoot, no. You intend to satisfy your power and control, leaving the impression you're helping the whole community with these sinful actions, but the townships going into oblivion will shrug off your shoulders. Lies, lies, and more lies. You blatantly lied to the social media to defend your sinful actions. Protesters possibly being funded by China, telling you drink dirty water given to you by Mr. Roberts, and so forth. Everything that goes inside that big infrastructure will be funded by China. Think about it. We're not China funded, but the infrastructures will be China funded. Who's the liar and who's the hypocrite here? You can't stop all that's right. You have legal, lawful action to put right what's on the ballot in August. Please don't spew out of your mouths you don't have enough money. You know you frivolously found money in comparison to take people up to Iowa and Virginia. But there's no representation from our two townships. Deception.
Linda,
Find the money. Okay.
you have expired.
Thank
you for your comments.
Please stop dancing around Satan's party and talking over what God's created. Thank you for listening.
Finally,
Thank you.
Rachel Maxwell, obviously you need to sign in.
She tried. She did try.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I tried. That's the first thing. Like, that handicap door has to be staffed. I was waiting outside to come in. The first thing that I want to say is there needs to be a natural heritage review that can only come from commissioners or someone involved in this whole thing. See, I have 2 other points. In 2024, Commissioner Overschmidt had an ethics commission. It was a complaint. It was supposed to be investigated, but they didn't have a quorum, so I would like to know what that was. And then we're all talking about humanity and church and God and everything. Personally, I believe in separation of church and state. But if you think that we are Chinese, I would like to quote the Magnifica Humanitas Encyclica from the Magnificent Humanity from Pope Leo XIV in May. New technologies open up a horizon extending in directions that are imaginable but not yet fully predictable. This complicates the assessment of their potential impact and the long-term effects they may have on both the dignity of individuals and the common good. It now falls to us to face the challenges of our time with clarity of thought and responsibility. It is necessary to establish adequate regulatory tools capable of upholding justice and curbing the distorting effects of technological power. Nevertheless, the issue is not limited to regulation regulation. As Pope Francis warned, we must realistically ask ourselves who holds this power today and how they use it. Quote, it must be recognized that nuclear energy, biotechnology, information technology, knowledge of our own DNA, and many other abilities which we have acquired have given those with the knowledge, and especially the economic resources to use them, an impressive dominance over the whole of humanity and the entire world. Current AI systems require enormous amounts of energy and water, significantly influencing carbon dioxide emissions and place heavy burdens on natural resources. As their complexity increases, especially in the case of large language models, the need for computing power and storage capacity grows too, which requires an extensive network of machines, cables, data centers, and energy-intensive infrastructure. For this reason, it is essential to develop more sustainable technological solutions that require environmental impact and help protect our common home. The use of AI is never a purely technical matter. When it enters processes that affect people's lives, it touches on rights, opportunities, status, and freedom. Important and sensitive decisions concerning employment, credit, access to public services, or even a person's reputation risk being fully delegated to automated systems that do not know, quote, compassion, mercy, forgiveness, and above all, the hope that people are able to change, and can therefore give rise to new forms of exclusion. If the human being is treated as something to be perfected or surpassed, it becomes easier to accept that some lives are less useful, less desirable, or less worthy. In the name of progress, I'll email that and you can continue to read it.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. That ends the public comment.
I was on the list.
Oh, did I skip you?
I signed the paper.
What's your name?
Flip the page.
What's your name? Janine. Okay, yes, Janine. You're up, Janine. Sorry for skipping you.
Thank you. This board seems to be under the impression that data centers are the only means of development and growth for Franklin County. New housing developments can provide economic growth through job creation, increased tax revenue, and improved community infrastructure. They also enhance the availability of affordable housing, which can attract new residents and support local businesses. Economic growth in commercial real estate and housing leads to greater tax generation, job creation, and increased opportunities for economic development. Additionally, affordable housing supports local economies by enabling families to spend more on consumer goods, which benefits local businesses. Data centers will hinder commercial growth, as the already strained economy will undoubtedly worsen with higher energy costs and lower home values, some unable to sell at all. You state that you are still waiting on information to come in. We find this board to be obtuse in its considerations for both rezoning and data center development, which now leaves the community deeply questioning the intellectual capabilities to make such decisions on a widely opposed and gravely hazardous project in Franklin County. All doing so with the significant and well-documented opposition of the residents they are mandated to serve. Government corruption and ethics violations related to data centers often involve issues like misallocation of public resources, lack of transparency in contracts, potential bribery for favorable regulations, and these practices can undermine public trust and lead to significant financial losses for the taxpayers. Furthermore, local government corruption cases related to data center approvals often involve political and economic incentives, such as tax breaks or land deals, that can lead to questionable decision-making. These issues can arise when local governments prioritize development over community needs. And that is actually in our Constitution, that you are supposed to put public needs over commercial needs, over development. And this sometimes will result in long drawn-out legal disputes or public backlash against the approval process, as you have already seen. Key features in the tax incentive program for Missouri are: data centers are exempt from paying 100% of state and local sales and use taxes on the equipment and machinery used in data processing. They can have tax breaks for up to 15 years, and they must only create a total of 10 new full-time jobs. 10 jobs. for all this that you're asking us to suffer from?
Janine, your time has expired. Thank you for your comments.
Dave, you didn't call me. I was late, though. I'm not on the list.
I didn't call you. You're not on the list.
Can I go? I promise I think you'll find it.
I will allow it this time. I obviously allowed Rachel to testify without being on the list, but state your name too. I don't have your name.
Travis Layton. I'm from Jefferson County. I wanted to talk to you guys today about, I've been following the Festus data center project very closely. Gone to a lot of meetings there. I've actually read the developer contract from beginning to end, so I'm very familiar. They're a little bit further ahead, so I kind of wanted to share some of the things that I've learned by watching that process. All along, their city council was telling the residents, no, we're not going to let them drill wells. We're not going to let them drill wells. It's like documented in prior meeting videos, okay? So we get to the public comment hearing for the contract, and it says we won't drill any private wells, okay? There's no definitions in the contract of what private wells mean. So, of course, we were kind of suspicious. And we find out 2 months later during the water board meeting, just because I need to get a life and stop watching all these meetings, but I watched the water meeting for an hour and a half, and there was a McDonnell Douglas engineer giving a presentation on the plan to completely upgrade the capacity of the water facility that feeds Festus. And in it, the plan, 2 wells on the data center site, 1,000 feet deep, okay? I looked at the Missouri DNR website at average homes at that same elevation around the data center site, and the average private well around there is about 435 feet. So the presentation said the data center ones were going to be between 1,000 and 1,500 feet deep. And there's going to be 2 because everything for these data centers has to be redundant, okay? And they're also going to, they only have 1 main feed line, so they're going to have to put in another feed line. They're going to put in dual water towers. None of this was talked about beforehand. I think that the salesmen for the data center companies, the builders, developers, whatever we're calling them today, I think that they deceived the council. So just wanted to share that with you so that they don't try to, snow you guys and tell you what a car salesman would want you to hear. Just be on the lookout because they do shady stuff like that. The total water usage of Festus right now is 0.92 million gallons of water per day. In the same meeting, they said that the data center is going to require 1 million gallons per day, up to 1.5 during max peak, like when it's the hottest summer days out. They obviously are going to need more water. So that's 50% more water for this one data center than the entire population. Festus is like 14,000 people. This is crazy. So thank you for letting me speak. I appreciate it.
Can I get you to sign the roster here after, when the meeting's over? We'll get you to sign the roster. That ends the public comment section today. I appreciate everyone's patience and adherence to the time limits. I think that goes a long way to the process. Do we have any elected official or departmental reports? Jim.
Yes, I want to make the commission aware that yesterday we resurfaced Bethlehem Church Road, and then today we are resurfacing Grand Army. That will take today and tomorrow to complete that. So that's where we are in the east. We are also doing preparation work on conversions in the West District to bring those for chip seal on several roads in the West. Thank you.
Any other departmental reports? Elected official reports? Any further commission discussion?
That I.
Good. How about a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.